I'm very keen to beat Preston. I hope all the boys are. I think they are. They're pretty disappointed in that early game. And last week was lack of concentration. We let them get away early. We were solid towards the end of the game, but it was too late. The horse had bolted by that stage, but we can do better than last week. But they're not a bad side, Werribee.
And you're down on personnel.
Yeah, we've lost a few, but a real test of our depth. But I'm quietly confident that those guys, young blokes who've come up, will do the trick.
But have you got the recipe right?
Well, I listened to Phil's comments on the video often, and we think we have. I've done a bit of homework on that area, and Phil's given us a bit of a hand, so we think we might have it right, yeah.
Conditions would suit your tall, high-marking side?
Certainly. We've probably balanced it out a bit better. This ground our ground's been pretty ordinary since round 2. In fact, we haven't been training on it for the last month, so the boys are really keen when they see the surface of this ground, and we're looking to run on this ground.
Well, Phil, even though you want to send Preston out to Greensboro, you want to get them out of your neck of the woods at Coburg, Peter Waitman acknowledging the help you've given him.
Always prepared to help out when it comes to football. Peter, magnanimous gesture on my part. And Ross Booth can't even predict the win today. That is a worry.
Oh, I don't think there is any at all. It's Port Melbourne going from a right to left. Morrissey with the backhander. Taylor can't get there in time, and it's Bowden that gets it away. This is Rhett Bowden, and he's found the teammate. Good, strong mark too. It's James getting crunched. They came at him from both directions, but Adam James, the vice-captain, held his ground at that thigh, heavily bandaged. Pass will come unstuck. Fine mark taken by Morrissey. 2 behinds.
Looking
Preston,
good though, Preston.
Score.
Sharing the ball around, Peter.
Dangerous pass. Doyle gives away a goal.
Well, we see more and more of this, don't we? We've seen more and more of this in recent times. Peter Waitman, he'll be pretty happy with the way his boys have started. Only the 2 points, but they've been very creative in the midfield.
Mark Aiello. I want to make sure he doesn't look the gift horse in the mouth. No problems. 8 points in front, the Bull Ants. Ball squirts out to Billy McGee. That just went 10 metres in the end. Clohessy rides the bump. Should be a goal here. Shorty James gets it.
Yes.
2 points the difference in favour of Preston now.
Well, he's been right in amongst it, Adam James, in his first 10 minutes, or 8 minutes of the first quarter. Saw him kick a swag of goals here a few weeks back. And off the pack there, it was Morrissey. Was it punching? Maybe it wasn't.
Actually, I think it was the punch from Munavrana.
Munavrana, actually, and James onto it, as we so often see him do.
So 50 metres from Preston's goal. Billy McGee starting to hold his own now in the ruck, bringing it to ground. Nowhere for Cameron to go. Hucker gets the handball out. Preston get the goal. It's King. Missed one from the other side, but no mistake there. Dropping it onto the boot very quickly. He's a very accomplished footballer, Paul King, by foot. Bypassing the centre, which is still pretty good nick. The high flyer was McNamara. Cameron getting the ball out. Adam Jones. Here he is, Sexton on the lead. Good footy from Port. That's their most impressive forward thrust, starting at half-back.
Well, he's already shown, I think, in the first part of the game, Sexton, that he's going to play right up the ground, in fact, Peter, right up the corridor, and that'll be a good move, because if he does stay back, it'll be too restrictive for him. But he's looked good so far, even though he hasn't really had much of the ball.
Sexton going for goal 29 this season. No mistake. So, Port Melbourne making the most of their forward pushes. 3 points down, 12 minutes into the quarter.
Bailey waits for the tap. Morrissey edged under it by McNamara. Jones paddled it forward. Taylor there, 44. McNamara. Corelli was there putting a smother on. Bailey, a quick kick towards Sexton.
Oh,
not
chance.
touched yet. Off the ground by
Yes.
Kelly. It's there. So, Port Melbourne, they're in front, even though I think, Philip, they're not playing as well as Preston was that a bit hard?
No, I think that's a fair call, Roscoe. I think Preston have played better, had more. It would appear to have had more of the ball. Interesting to see the stats later on.
I'd like to see the replay of this. The goal umpire was nearly run over, and it almost looked like the ball hit the goal post.
No, I think, well, it just snuck in. I thought Peter looking... I wasn't actually looking on the monitor, but Sexton here leads his man under the ball there, Hucker, and over the top, and you just see that. Oh, umpire. Umpire. Well,
Took evasive action.
he took evasive action, all right. The ball was about to hit the post, hit his shoulder, and went through the goals instead.
Brett Bowden out of the middle.
Good call, Peter G.
It's amazing what the monitor can show. Now, McNamara.
Goal.
Well, fourth goal for Port Melbourne. So 2 quick ones. And they've increased their lead to 9 points.
Well, this bloke has been fantastic on the back line, John McNamara, and there's no doubt he can play either end. And I said before the game I'd rather see him on the back line, and I think even Shane Malloy, the coach, would. But there's no doubt you'll get a good game out of him wherever he plays. And here, James, good handball, evasive, and then McNamara kicks very well either side, left or right. And that's a good goal. 2 in succession, really putting the pressure on the Bull Ants.
9 points down now. McGee straight ahead. Here's Kelly. 1-2. No goal, but it hits Sexton. Shove in the back. Copybook stuff out of the middle from the Borough. And Kelly dominating in the middle there. Pats all round for him.
Yes, a great kick. And again, Peter, this is very interesting with Sexton. Leading straight up the corridor. Good tactics by Port Melbourne to have Sexton in the game a lot, because he's a bloke who will win a lot of the football.
Discards both gloves. He hooked the last one in quite a bit from right to left. He comes around the corner again, and through the middle it goes. So they're not losing anything with Dominic Berry out today.
Advantage is up towards Aiello. It goes. Shearer took it from Aiello as a second grab. Doyle going across the ground. Could be dangerous. Looking for Kane Bowden. Wilson certainly having a presence. Chips in towards the centre. Was good to McLaughlin.
Beautiful play there by Wilson. Said his kicking was a little bit awkward, but on that occasion he found McLaughlin superbly with that little chip pass around the corner.
Paul McLaughlin. Badly needed goal by the Bull Ants.
Yes.
Confident kick at goal, and he gets their third.
Yes, they needed that goal. Had some reward for some of their good play.
So back to 10 points, Phillip.
We'll see Wilson here. Breaks the tackle there from Bowden and slips a beautiful pass to McLaughlin. And those Coffee Ford flags, I was going to say, blowing a gentle zephyr, Roscoe. At centre half back.
McGee uncontested. Brett Bowden strangely couldn't drag it in on the quarter-time siren. And it's a 13-point lead to the Borough after Preston started the better.
Yes, competitive quarter, but Port finishing on top with the goals for them coming from full forward Danny Sexton, who's kicked 2. Disappointed not to have 3 up. He's the only multiple goal kicker. The other goals coming from Adam James, Matthew Kelly and John McNamara. While for Preston, they're a full forward. Craig Shearer hasn't got a goal yet. Mark Aiello, Paul McLaughlin, and the other goal coming from Paul King. So it's quarter time here at the North Port Oval, on the home side. Port Melbourne lead by 13 points at the first break. We'll reserve our judgment. Clowassy getting the ball across to Kane Bowden. He's going to do well, Jones, to get this inside the line. Does well. Sexton calling for it. He's now in front of Hucker, dropping back McNamara.
Well, that was always going to happen there, McNamara there. Bryson caught out there because McNamara had come actually from the boundary line across the ground into the corridor. And he hung in the air and the ball was put in the right spot. by Jones. Easy, as you like.
McNamara has got
He's
2
happy with
goals. Yes. So that's a very handy one to open the second quarter up with for Port Melbourne after 4 minutes. They've extended their lead now to 20 points.
Brett Bowden on the mark. Taylor looks for Shearer. 2 on 1. Roving it nicely at Mayorana. Gave it away. FLAVELL into the... He's got one in the back.
Oh, it's a lucky free kick.
Against Doyle.
Probably there, but lucky in that FLAVELL just got himself in the right spot, turned the body.
He's about 35, 40 metres from goal. Really tight angle.
They need one. FLAVELL, that would be a French name. Peter G before said FLAVELL ran into a cul-de-sac, and then the ball finished up with Piccioni.
VFA footy very big in France.
Dylan Welsh, isn't it? Anyway, he's kicked the goal. And badly needed one for the Bullants, just to steady her.
Into the the footballer, but Chirac will bar him.
Billy McGee. Towards
Played
Sexton. Running onto it, Kelly. Can he keep it in? Or he's gone over. The ball's still in play.
Oh,
Hoffman. Has he got it?
yes.
Just. Or has he? Well, it was very close, but Hoffman, in his first senior game for the club, finally snuck it through.
And what about Kelly, Roscoe, playing in the centre? Now, how far can you run as a centreman? He has taken that ball on the goal line and set up the goal, Kelly. Well, here he is. He's the centreman, and he's right down in the goals. Hands it off to Hoffman, and Hoffman gets his first goal in VFA football, Roscoe.
No,
Am I right?
no.
No?
He's got a
2
few
for Williamstown
got a few
in
for
his 3
Williams.
games.
So,
Where was Dobbs, his man?
Well, Peter Waitman
Be angry.
will be very angry.
Bryson going back to try and guard McNamara. He's nowhere near him. McNamara gets it to the ground. Oh, good hands. James Bailey, goal.
Well, they're a good combination, James and Bailey. It was James who kicked the 8 in that game I was talking about.
No, Bailey.
Bailey kicked the 8, James the 3, I should say. On that occasion,
All came from the kick in that went astray. From Buckley, I think the kick in took the kick in on that occasion, and
Bailey to finish it off.
Messages and trying to get his matchups correct. Port have jumped away, looking really good. Bailey tried to kick it out of the air. King grabbed it, kicked it long to Wilson.
Good mark.
Looking into the sun, it was a trivial mark.
Bit of traffic coming his way too. Sam Kegovich would say a bit of heavy traffic, but didn't quite get there. Wilson able to pluck the mark.
Yeah, he's kicked one behind his, as we've seen, not a great kick. This looks better.
Snuck it in.
First goal to Anthony Wilson.
it's a pretty ordinary old kick. He's lucky for the coffee forward breeze in that pocket.
Last year, his father was telling me, Ray Wilson, that I think it was Michael Roach was giving him tuition, and well, it sounds simple, but he just wasn't watching the ball under his foot, something as simple as that. And maybe he's forgotten that lesson. It's easy to do.
Starring Deborah Lee Furness. Not sure exactly when it starts.
Fabian not in it.
Oh, McNamara.
G. McGee's doing well. It was McGee who drove that ball to McNamara. In McGee today to replace their top ruckman, Michael Laffey. And he's doing well. Gangly sort of bloke. Got a good leap, though. And sharing the honours, really, with Morrissey. He's put the ball here to McNamara, who is a booming kick.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to worry about distance. It's a 45-degree angle from 40 metres. 3 goals. The move criticised by Phil Cleary before the game. McNamara got 3 at centre-half forward.
I thought he bent the knee too as he kicked that fella.
He's a very good player, this bloke, either end of the ground. I think when it really counts, he'll play in defence. When Dominic Berry plays, and he's great in defence, but he can play either end of the ground. That kick from McGee, that's a beauty.
No, Cunningham, no chance.
No, Cunningham, of course, replaced Bryson at centre-half back on McNamara, or McNamara actually playing back a little bit, just very mobile on the forward line, but really the centre-half forward.
So, Peter Waitman, I think he's wasting good players who aren't doing a good stopping job in these key prime moments.
Well, Taylor, I think, Ross, that criticism at quarter time, wanting him to get into the play, he's not a natural tagger, but I thought he did the job pretty well in the first quarter. Now he's trying to be attacking as well, and succeeding at neither task. Sexton.
Waitman's
diving mark.
I didn't hear all of his first quarter address, but he said, you've got jobs to do. I just inferred that it was tagging.
35 points in front, Port Melbourne. Sexton, 4 goals. Or should I say 3, with that hook, which he seemed disappointed with, but no doubt it was right through the middle.
I think it's a fair call, Ross.
Dobbs
really need him in the game.
Out of the middle. Wilson. Who's at the 4? Majorana. That's where Corelli should be. Taylor's run down. Feeds it out. Paul King.
Goal.
Well, I got one back quickly, but they needed to. The margin back to 29 points. Through that goal from Paul King. His second.
Ello. Can't get it clear. Bailey. Oh, tremendous football. Nearly got it to Cloughy. Oh, handball went straight to Haberman. Here's Corelli. That's a handy one. Fabian Corelli's first goal. And the difference, 23 points. It was out to 35 a few moments ago.
Well, that was just persistence, really, on that occasion from the Preston midfield. Well, from the Preston players generally, but Corelli to finish it off. Wilson was good, though. Puts himself under a bit of pressure when he goes for marks, Wilson. But anyway, there you see Corelli finishing that off, and I think was that Majorana who sent the ball over to him?
To Wilson. He's knocked down by Kane. Bowden, advantage played. Haberman's kick. Shearer has it taken away at the last minute. Aiello to King. Goal. Very handy one.
Very handy, Peter.
Second goal for, third for King. 2 in this quarter. And they've matched it with Port. 5 goals apiece in this term. 16 points the difference.
Well, he's just playing with a bit more, I don't know, with a bit more oomph, I suppose, to use the old footy term here. That was a good call by the umpire, because that was a free kick to Wilson, and it was the advantage was played to Haberman, and then out she goes to King from Aiello, and a very good goal. And I watched our man in the centre, Cali Roscoe, and no one picking him up at any stage.
Whose responsibility is it?
I'm trying to work that out.
James to Hoffman.
Oh, too easy. Too easy. And the umpire there has spotted that, and they're going to play a 50-metre. And I think, he's probably right, Dean Goodridge, the umpire. It was a little how do you do from Hucker, and I mean, why bother there, mate? Really, Craig Hucker, you've given away the 50-metre, mate.
He's been got in well and truly, hasn't he, here by McNamara.
Hoffman kicks the goal.
It wasn't much in it, but it was enough. It was after the ball had been marked by Hoffman that Hucker just sort of shouldered him. We'll see it here.
McGee's tap.
Raggett, was it through the middle? James. And watch this. Yes. Good call, umpire. Yes, good call. What he should have done there, Hucker, was wrapped his arms around the player quite legitimately, but he decided to give him a bit of a shoulder, and that is a 50-metre penalty.
We've had 11 goals. It's been a high-scoring quarter.
Hucker's kick in. Knocked away from Shearer. Here's McGee. Sexton almost got in front of Hucker. He's knocked it down to McNamara. A grubber is a good one.
Well, he got so excited about the prospect of kicking a goal, McNamara. He almost didn't get it on his foot, Peter, and kicked his leg so hard. But just touched it, scrambled through.
3 goals in that quarter from John McNamara. 4 for the game. Sexton battled well there to knock the ball back to him. And he fooled everybody with that bouncer through the square, which was nice and true. A top spinner from the centre-half forward. And in that quarter, Port Melbourne kicked 7 goals, 7. Preston added 5 goals, 4. So plenty of goals, but Port Melbourne getting some good ones in time on there after Preston had made a bit of a run at them. Got within 9 points. But Port again having the advantage now at half-time with their goals coming from centre-half forward McNamara 4, full forward Sexton 3. Hoffman got 2 in that term from the pocket. Bailey, James and Kelly have singles, while for Preston 3 from Paul King, singles FLAVELL, Corelli, Aiello, Wilson, McLaughlin. Conspicuous in his absence there in the goal-kicking tally for Preston is their leading goal kicker this season, Craig Shearer, who's being held goalless so far by Glenn Doyle. So Port Melbourne led by 13 points at quarter-time, half-time here at North Port. The VFA Round 11 match exclusive to ABC Sport, and Port lead Preston by 28 points. Time to cool down at half-time. Well, Morrissey's outmarked by McGee. Going in stature, and what a beautiful kick. He uses the ball so well. McNamara set up only 35 metres out directly in front.
Loves his footy, Tom McNamara. He absolutely adores having a kick of the football. And he can kick it, and he can play.
Playing like the acting Premier of the state at the moment, McNamara, isn't he?
Yes. What a lot of flair and panache, Peter.
No mistake, 5 goals for John McNamara. Taste of the pickets, courtesy of Haberman.
Philip, it was there's Vic Anderson, Port legend. No, it was in the Port rooms. I just checked their magnetic board. It was a bit rude to ask the press.
Sorry.
People. That's never stopped you in the past, Ross. Good play from King.
Sharked by Bowden. Shot on goal coming up.
Gee, that's a good goal. That is just a
well, it'd be nice to see the
bit of football.
The replay on that and see where Taylor is if we do get a shot of him. Great goal from Rhett Bowden.
Gee, they're good players, aren't they, the Bowden brothers? Sean not playing today, and you've got to let him stand his own right, Rhett Bowden here. You see there, no pressure basically, though. The tap going, he's able to run through without having to combat any players. And again, when you're running on in attack, you should have to confront a player at a throw, at a ball up.
Now Corelli seems to be okay. Rebound to Kelly, tackled by Dobbs.
His man.
Bailey goes for the pass to Sexton. Well,
gee, sorry, Ross.
Neat.
They are neat. They're a good side, and you know, you look at those players out of the side. Fantastic play there, Bailey. You know, Bowden and Laffey in particular. That just shows you've got the depth.
Barry Lockhead.
Yeah, well, I just, you know,
Kieran Edwards.
Sexton. Kick straight, number 4. So McNamara 5 and Sexton 4 goals for the Borough.
Just that he's covering today, you know, Sexton, so Berry, of course, will go to full forward, but you think of how they can build that midfield and they can cover the players.
That pick-up from Bailey, just brilliant.
And Bailey's not a real crisp kicker. He's not a beautifully balanced or beautiful in style as a kicker of the football, but always effective. And there's Sexton. You know, these blokes are going to be a big worry in the finals.
He's had a dirty day. This will be his first touch, first kick. And what's he called it, a throw?
Well, I think he did actually
throw
it.
Yeah, well,
very awkward. Well, actually, it was almost the tackle that caused the ball to be thrown, but he had an opportunity prior.
Lumley's clearing kick to Corelli.
Goal.
Well, that's where I think Preston would get most value from 2 goals to Fabian Corelli.
And I reckon he's probably on a bad day today watching the Bull Ants, Roscoe.
It's not looking good.
Wilson knocking the ball down. Haberman. Rhett Bowden couldn't stop him kicking it. He's been a terrific interchange inclusion. Kicks his first goal, Bernie Haberman.
Oh, Dobbs did well in front of Kelly to prevent Kelly from marking.
Well played.
FLAVELL, Majorana, Bowden in the way,
That's
but over the top.
play.
Now, McLaughlin, long to the square. Shearer.
Oh,
Seven
yes!
So
Just
finally,
what?
a lucky break going the Bullants' way. Not lucky, but well-deserved.
Just what the Queen Bee ordered, Roscoe.
Second goal to Paul McLaughlin. And the margin is 30 point,
Well, that was
29
a
points.
nice creative play there. Dobbs over the top, and McLaughlin.
Moved, didn't it?
Good goal. Yes, good goal.
Raggett couldn't barge through. Could be holding the ball.
Rubbish. No, I'm sorry, umpire there. I've got the electrode going on that one.
Raggett shoots the ball out to Sean Bowden. Rhett, sorry.
Look how loose he is.
Oh, here's a chance for Sexton. Great work. Holding off Hucker.
Gee, that's good play by Sexton. The use of the body was just superb there. That old reliable, stick the backside out, just keep your man at bay, force him to push on you to get into the contest. You see him here, just stops, pushes back. Just see that, that's spot on. Pushing back all the time on Hucker. Didn't need the free kick. Would have been a slightly tiggy touch free kick anyway.
Sexton to make it 6 goals, the difference again.
Oh, out to the right, but through.
He's got 2 this quarter. 5 for the game for Danny Sexton.
Yes, he's just got that little bit of height advantage on Hucker. Hucker's not a leaping player, is he, Ross? He tends to use his body a lot, Hucker.
Look.
And Rhett Bowden, yeah, a lot of space. If you give that bloke space, you're going to pay. And Sexton there, all set for him.
There's a bit of a feeling aboard in the VFA, it seems to me, that Rhett Bowden gets a lot of the ball but doesn't do a lot with it. I can't really hold with it.
I think he's a great user of the ball.
Corelli is next to Bowden.
You know who that was, Phil?
Yeah, I do, Peter. Yeah, I do. I'm sure I do.
American show. McNamara flies high in front of Bryson.
Yeah, there'd be one of those sort of people.
Just 1 goal in the term. 5 for the match to McNamara. In towards Sexton.
Oh, Sexton, well done. And Cameron finishes it off, but Sexton was the man there. Beautiful use of the body to enable Howard Cameron to get hold of that football right on the goal line. We'll see it again. Sexton. You don't think Sexton's a strong player, really, or you wouldn't think looking at him as a strong player. But look at the body work here. He holds. Oh, that's great play. He actually came over the top of Hucker to put that ball down. That is consummate team football from Sexton.
Picked up by Doyle, and Mayweather followed Shearer. Clohessy was caught with it. Couldn't get the hand clear to effect a hand pass. Free to Robbie Majorana. Call to play on. All Port Melbourne. Over the top with the big spoil. King. And behind the... There's a free going against McNamara. Did you see what it was for?
Yes,
Phil?
he just grabbed him just off the ball. It was a sort of half shepherd, Ross, and threw the arm around him. It's like a big elephant.
Oh, yes.
Just giving a little bee a bit of a push along. Get out of me road, son.
Do you agree with that one?
I think it's fair enough.
What, the first, the second or the third time?
I was looking at the 4th, actually. I thought you should earn a kick.
Well,
good goal.
3rd goal for Fabian Corelli. 2 in this quarter.
Got you thinking now. You want to say Farrelly, don't you? Fabian Corelli. Yes, he went off in that 2nd quarter with a bit of an ankle problem. And here, King goes after it and... well, there you go.
Counts didn't go towards either of them. Rhett Bowden gets another kick. Jones.
Lady with a baby took a backward step away from the boundary line.
It's a natural motherhood instinct. Well, they've extended their lead to 6 goals with a quarter to play, Port Melbourne. They, in that term, added 5 goals for, while Preston kicked 4 goals too. So it just keeps slipping further and further away from the Bull Ants. Goal kickers up to 3/4 time. Danny Sexton and John McNamara have 5 apiece. Sexton got 2 in that quarter, McNamara 1. The other multiple goal kicker is Glenn Hoffman, who I think might have sat on the bench during that quarter. We're a long way away from the interchange over here. Paul King got 2 for Preston to take his tally up to 3, along with Fabian Corelli. Sorry, he got the 2 in that quarter. King didn't get 1 in that term. It's three-quarter time, and Port looking the winners, 36 points up over Preston. Unfortunately, didn't bring it down there, Jones. Forced backwards is Buckley. Raggett trying to tap it back to advantage. McNamara cleans up Buckley, gets the ball. Oh. Sexton, that backside kept Hucker well out of the contest.
Good play by McNamara. There it was, well, and he's sent it up there to Sexton, and that's a terrific mark. In front of his man. What a match winner this boy is.
Through the middle, 6 goals from 7 marks, and every one of the balls in the air that's hit those gloves hasn't looked like coming out.
Well,
yeah, I know what you're thinking, Phil.
Yes, you know exactly
I can
what
read
I'm
your
thinking.
mind.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if we'd had these gloves in the 1950s, we wouldn't have had Superman. You know what I mean, Ross?
Well, I got a couple.
They give you superhuman powers. That's what I mean.
Stay what you mean. I got a few suggestions.
Being obtuse, was
That's
I?
Right. I got a few suggestions for man of the match at three-quarter time huddles.
And
Italian blood, is it, Phil?
Haberman, a look-alike for Marcus O'Connor.
Got the hair to match for Chaney.
The way he runs and all.
Brett Bowden gets a fist on it after his kick was smothered. Taylor hits the target. Kane Bowden down the ground. About 80 minutes from goal. Long kick. Sexton nicely placed at the back. Oh! Caught in a spectacular mark. Hucker clears for the Bull Ants. Or have they cleared it out of the danger zone? Grabbed by Cameron. Twists, turns, shot on goal. That's
Goal of the day.
Cameron
Season just about.
kicks his second for the day, and a spectacular one at that.
Well, he's a spectacular footballer, Cameron, isn't he, Ross? We've seen him on the back line.
Where's he been playing today, do you think?
Well, I think he's either been ruck round or just playing across the forward line, I think. That's a good question, Peter. I've seen him play on the back line. This is just superb bit of play. And a great goal from Cameron.
Another former, I think, Collingwood under-19 captain, along with Brad Boyd.
Who forward? No.
Kane Bowden. Little chip to brother Rhett. McGee, you're in trouble. Oh, got out of trouble. Still had the poise to get his kick to Jones. Oh. And he almost went on, did he, Phil?
Well, he could have, Ross. He had Cameron there running through the square. He could have just sealed the goal. Probably a Greg Williams type player would have just kept going and handed the ball straight to Cameron, and he would have pinged the goal. But not to worry. Adam Jones, one would think, would seal this after that kick from that man, Billy McGee.
Missed earlier in the quarter. Now makes amends. His first. And Port's 20th goal.
Well, a lot of it's been pretty easy too, but look, this is a good side. Port Melbourne we're looking at today. You take into account, as I said earlier, the players that are out of the team. See Kane Bowden here. Up she goes to Rhett Bowden. How often do we see that? McGee caught around, left foot, under pressure. Jones thinks about the handball.
Buckley back to Damien Munavrana. Jamie Dobbs. All Preston here, and Wilson will line up from about 50 metres. Just on the edge of his goal-kicking range on what he's shown us today.
Done a big job, Shane Malloy, Ross, hasn't he, with the Port side? You know, he's got him playing really good football. His approach is very steady, unperturbed.
Oh, a bit closer than 50 for Wilson. And he's got underneath it.
Still too close to the man on the mark, Wilson, but he
Sneaked it home. He deserves to end up with a few goals to his name at the end of the day. He's got 2. And there's been at least 1 target up forward for them. Taken 11 marks.
Yeah, he's kept the Port Melbourne defence under pressure, Peter. You'll see here yet again. Oh God, you know, you look Craig Shearer the whole game without a possession. I mean, that's unthinkable.
On an inquiry about our Prime Minister's latest flight of fancy.
Morrissey, Bowden, Kelly sidesteps.
Ooh.
Tries to get past Corelli. McNamara had to be quick. Side bump from Hoffman was good. Kelly in the play again. Torpedo goal.
Yes.
It's there. Matthew Kelly finishes off a lovely day. Kicks his 2nd goal.
Well, they're a great kick, the old torpedo, aren't they? If you can do them well. We saw Peter Dacos at Collingwood kick some magnificent torpedo punts. And we well remember Malcolm Blight at the conclusion of a game at Princes Park. And look at Kelly here.
Ben Graham's been doing them from fullback for Geelong this season, and the crowd all of a sudden loves players who can kick these.
And look at that. Well, it's just outside 50. But on the run, you know, a torpedo on the run, that's a big ask. What an exciting goal that is. From about probably a 55-60 metre kick.
And feeds it off to King. Centering kick was good. Oh, Maharana got the 2nd grab. He's just outside 50. Little short one into Haberman. Should goal from here. And he does. Kicks his 2nd goal.
He's been, Peter G mentioned him earlier, Roscoe. He's been a good player. Bernard Haberman on the screen there. 16 possessions.
Off the bench.
Off the bench. Out on the interchange. Found some space here. Worked pretty hard. He's been good around the packs too. Likened him a lot to Marcus O'Connor. He used to play with Williamstown.
Now with Werribee.
Indeed.
Blasey up towards Sexton, just edged under it by Hucker. Kelly at the full. Left it behind. Taylor coming in, got Kelly high. Jones to De Blasey. Sexton again comes with a run.
Oh, yes.
Moylan, Cameron, advantage to Kelly.
Deserves a goal and does get one.
And his 3rd goal, Matthew Kelly, 2 coming in this final quarter.
Oh, that was a super mark from Cameron, wasn't it? Took it on the 2nd grab in a big pack of players and just fed it off straight away to Kelly. Matthew Kelly. We'll see it there. That's good play. That's great team play. That'd make a coach very happy. Players prepared to hand the ball up. Sexton, they're having a breather.
Cunningham. Good talking to him there. Buckley had nothing to kick to. Raggett. He's a very handy player, Raggett.
Yes, Peter.
Look at them all here. There's 5 of them could have marked that. And Billy McGee.
Well, he's been in the top couple too, Billy McGee.
I'm sure they're very pleased, the Port Brains Trust, with his performance. No Laffy. They would have toyed with Dalmanis, perhaps. They decided to go with 22-year-old Billy McGee, who hasn't let them down. It's not a bad kick either. That's a goal.
That is a goal.
Cloesy was over the line. Morrissey, rather. No doubt about the goal.
Well, Peter, that's exactly right. And Shane Malloy, the coach, would be very, very happy because this kid, he's very mobile, he's gangly, he's got a good leap, and he uses the ball so well for a ruckman. Often they don't kick the ball.
Pretty good football pedigree, Bill.
Yeah,
Phil.
He certainly has. Of course, Torch McGee's the uncle, isn't he?
That's right.
His uncle
Torch's
played
uncle.
with South Melbourne in the old days, now a member of the Coodabines.
Kelly. No one within 30 metres of him. Matt Kelly. Bryson drawn to him. He had to go at him. Hoffman. It's not a bad kick. Oh, it's a brilliant kick. Adam Jones dead in front, 20 metres out.
This is another young bloke, Peter, who I think's got a bit of ability too. He's not yet 22. Jones, he got a good leap. He's had his hands on a couple of big marks.
Just his 9th game, one of the young guys that the coach talked about before the game, and they certainly have vindicated his confidence in them. This to put the icing on the cake for Port Melbourne today.
Yes.
24-goal effort today from the Borough in annihilating Preston. Final winning margin of 67 points. And Jones ending up with a couple. They spread it around. Half a dozen from Danny Sexton, 5 from John McNamara. Here's the final goal. It really sums up the day. Kelly with no opponent. And Bryson always on a hiding to nothing there. Good squaring kick from Hoffman. Better than that, he hit his teammate on the chest.
And he finished it off. Yes, you mentioned, you know, the young blokes, Peter. Well, the depth at Port Melbourne is very, very good.
Why they celebrate. And Phil, you've made the statement at round 11. You think they're the favourites for the premiership?
I think they are.
We'll come back and get some more thoughts on that. Russ Booth with the Vic Safe man of the match.
Yes, Phil and Peter and viewers, we've chosen Matthew Kelly, and a lot of people around here agree with us. So congratulations, Matthew, and the Vic Safe tankard, Alan Buckley, Inspector from Victoria Police.
Thank you. Ross, Matthew, on behalf of the Vic Safe program, I'd like to congratulate you on your game today and present you with this tankard for being chosen as the Vic Safe Player of the Round.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Alan. And the keys for the Coffee Ford Laser from Stan Petty.
Congratulations, Matthew.
Yep, thanks, mate.
Enjoy driving the Coffee Ford Laser for the week, and we wish you a very successful season.
Thanks, Stan. Well, congratulations, Matthew. It was a very difficult task. Port had so many good players, but we chose you as the best player today. Congratulations. Where were you playing? In the middle?
Yeah, I was in the centre.
We had a bit of trouble working out who was playing on you. Who was it?
I was at Dobbs, I think. I'm not sure that. I don't really pick anyone up.
No,
So.
well, you're very modest, but I thought he was a bit loose in you, but I guess you ran so hard that you just made it so hard for him. You normally play on the wing, do you?
Yeah, all over the place.
All over the place, yeah. And your pace is one of your strengths.
Oh, not really. I'm a bit fat at the moment, I think. So.
Oh, I think you're carrying a lot of territory. Now, that torpedo, you played some games at Box Hill? Did John Murphy teach you that?
He let us have a kick out a couple of times if we wanted to have. So, yeah, not really.
And how did you get to Port Melbourne?
Well, I got a job in the city and sort of I knew Luke Donald and a few Danny Sexton and that here, so I thought I'd come and play here, or try and come play here because it's a bit closer to home. So.
Well, you seem to have joined the club at the right time. They're really on the rise. Yeah. And John McNamara, flamboyant fellow from the half back to half forward, seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, as always, he's been like that for most of his life. So he's good though. Like he's a good team man. He's good to have, and we need someone like that.
Who is the most outrageous, Dominic Berry or John McNamara?
They're one of. You should see them in the rooms after the games. They're just total idiots, but no, they're both good. They make the team. They do. Okay. Players like that.
Well, you're keeping in touch with Springvale and in the top three, but as Phil was saying, he thinks you're favourites for the flag, but you're still 2 games in arrears of Spring. If Spring, you can beat Werribee tomorrow.
I don't think we should be favourite yet. I mean, we just keep plugging along and hopefully.
Yeah, okay, hose down those premiership talk. Okay, Matthew Kelly, our Vic Safe man of the match for this week.
Thanks, Ross. And last week's winner of our competition, just repeating, Peter Lausch. Well done, Peter, in correctly answering Sandringham as the winner of last year's grand final.